If you follow the news closely, now make no mistake, Haiti, one of the critical countries in the world today, is facing this what we called domestic political crisis. Now, given the fact that last time, if you remember our conversation, now get this, more than 100,000 non-governmental organizations has been sending humanitarian aid to the country, and in addition to the political help from the US. But meanwhile, these days, when we talk about this domestic political instability and also this economic uncertainty, this country today, it's in a deep crisis. How should we understand the ongoing political instability in this country? Some scholars believe that in addition to the gang violence in this country, it's more about this what we call domestic insurgency. And mainly, recently, according to the news, that the Prime Minister resigned from the post and regarding what's happening today. Well, how should we understand the full picture? Why is it important and critical for us to analyze this political situation and also this economic uncertainty at this moment? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to invite our distinguished speaker, who is Mr. Jafrik. Again, if you're familiar with our show, Mr. Jafrik is an expert on the Haitian history, and of course, previously he joined our show regarding what happened in this country, and it's our honor to invite him back. Well, Mr. Jafrik, and welcome back to The Missing Piece.
Thank you for inviting me, Will. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, Mr. Jafrik, the honor is all mine. Now, let's talk about this. Again, last time you and I, we had the conversation regarding the nation of Haiti, and of course that you generously shared regarding the history and the political situation back then, what happened. But right now, let's focus on what's happening today. Again, according to the media reports, it's not just about this gang violence happening in this country. It's more about this, what we call political or economic insurgency. How much would you agree with the assessment today? And also from your perspective, what can we expect regarding what's happening next to the country?
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much for this question, because it's a crucial one, because what you will notice is a major discrepancy between what the mainstream media are saying, for instance, CNN, Radio-Canada, and what Haitians have been saying for years. So that expression, domestic insurgency, has only the one word that is problematic in it. The word domestic. Nothing in what's happening in Haiti, politically or economically, can be constrained to domestic. Of course, it has a domestic element, but the bigger player on the ground in Haiti is foreign. Not only by the nature of the weapons that are being used by the militias that they're calling gangs. And yes, it is not true either that what's happening in Haiti is gang warfare. We have gangs here in Canada. In Montreal, there are two major gangs. One is called Rock Machine. The other one is called Hells Angels, and they fight for the control of the illegal drugs market. That's not what's happening in Haiti. Okay? So the question is, how do we take enough time to analyze all of the complexities of the question when in reality, most of the mainstream media only devote a few minutes to so-called Haiti experts. And most of the time, the experts they invite is some white NGO director who is in Haiti, not Haitians. It would seem like Haitians are mute, they don't speak English or whatever. That's not true. There are plenty men and women who have been describing this, but only in alternative media. If they accept to hear your voice on BBC, CNN, it is only if you already in the pre-interview indicate that you're going to only talk about the domestic players and not the international crime that is happening in Haiti. And it's not one or the other, it's both. So let's take the example of the militias. You'll notice that I don't use the word gang because they are militias, and indeed they are involved in insurgency. And some of these players were involved in previous insurgency. For instance, Guy Philippe, who mysteriously arrived in Haiti at the end of 2023. He was in jail in the United States for drug trafficking. Okay? And he was there for 9 years, and the Americans decided to send him early. Why? We should ask this question. Okay, if you're trying to help Haiti, you have a known convicted who pleaded guilty to drug trafficking and money laundering. He was in jail for 9 years, and then you send him back early while the country is facing turmoil. And you're supposed to be a friend of Haiti. So the problem is this crisis cannot be divorced from what happened 20 years ago in Haiti. There was an invasion of Haiti led by the United States involving Canada and France, where they kidnapped the president of the country and his wife and overthrew the 7,000 elected officials who were running the country. It's the collapse of that state that you are observing right now. These militias would not be able to do all of this damage if there was a functioning state apparatus. And that state apparatus did not self-dissolve. It was broken by foreign intervention. And another important point to make is that Haiti is currently under foreign occupation. It's not something that they're planning. It's already there. There is a mission called Bureau Intégré des Nations Unies pour Haïti, BINU. And it replaces a previous one that was called MINUSTA, that had thousands of soldiers who came from all over the world to consolidate the coup in 2004, because in 2004 they overthrew a popular government led by Jean-Bertrand Aristide. Therefore, they knew in order to keep the communities where Aristide was very popular quiet, they brought military might. And there were soldiers there from China, from all over the world. And they convinced the world that that mission was a peacekeeping mission. But to keep the peace between who and who? There's no army in Haiti. There wasn't a war in Haiti. So even the Chapter 7 mission that was deployed then was illegal, according to the own UN Charter. But the reason why they knew they needed that, and it was facilitated by the fact that at the time, both France and the United States, being members of the Permanent Security Council, could pass whatever they wanted at the UN. Okay, and so the mission of the MINUSTA in Haiti was to control the black masses who were likely going to refuse the puppet regime that the United States had put in place to replace the Aristide government. And so today, what you see, because of all the crimes that they committed, the UN mission, rapes, they contaminated over 1 million Haitians with cholera. So that mission, the soldiers left in 2017 in disarray and without paying any reparations to their victims. Okay, so now they need something to replace that force because they don't want a socialist, popular government to take root in Haiti. And when we use the word socialist in the context of Haiti, it needs to be understood. Okay, we're not talking about ideological differences as people understand it outside of the world, outside of Haiti. Haiti is a country where the poverty is so extreme. The lack of access to water, to any decent human being who would become head of Haiti would have to be socialist. Okay, you would have to prioritize the basic needs of the black majority, the 99% of Haitians. Okay, and this is what President Aristide was doing, investing 16% of the national budget in healthcare and in education, in all kinds of things like that. And the what they're calling the private sector in Haiti, which is dominated by whites who came from the United States, Syria, Israel, they're the ones who dominate that 1%, and they control the economy of Haiti, and they have sweatshops, okay, factories that make goods for Walmart, for Target, these multinational companies. They make underwear, T-shirts, and things like that. And what they want, these people, the 1%, what I call the white warlords in Haiti, they want to keep the minimum wage in Haiti the lowest in the Americas, so that when workers would, complain about work conditions in Honduras, in Guatemala, in Mexico, or in Canada, the threat would be, well, listen, if the unions are clamoring too much, we're going to close shop and then open up in Haiti. And in order to do that, you must have a population that is desperate, who don't have other opportunities, who will accept whatever stupid job that you offer them. And so investing in education, in healthcare, is a problem for these white warlords in Haiti. They're not real capitalists. These people have monopolies that are supported by the repressive regime that they put in place in the politics of the country. And so now that they don't have the UN to keep the population, the black population, subdued, the next best thing is the militias. And they are the ones who have created those militias. People like Jimmy Cherizier Barbecue, a former policeman. He didn't just, arrive like that. Guy Philippe. And even some of them have admitted how they were created. One document I would refer people to, and it's on my website, Jafrikayiti.com. It's an article titled Confessions of a Haitian Kidnapper, Arnel Joseph. And this young black man, who is very much like you see Barbecue today and the others, explains in ample detail how he was approached by the white warlords in Haiti. In particular, he was talking about the conflict that existed between the richest men on the island, Gilbert Bidjo, who is of Jewish faith. He came from Syria. His father came from Syria in the late 1800s, and he was for 25 years the representative, the consul of Israel in Haiti, and therefore he had diplomatic immunity as well. He has his own private ports, and it is through his ports that he imports illegal weapons that do not get checked. And some of the articles written about him explain how this man has on his payroll the chief of police, the head of the army. He also has mercenaries who come from Israel for his own protection. And so he was in competition with another white warlord whose name is Reynold Dib. And these two white men were fighting each other using militias that they armed for the control of commerce in various sectors in Haiti. This is how the militias started out. But at the same time, they had a political agenda, because they established those militias in areas that are formerly very, you have huge concentration of people, but people who are politicized, and who, anytime there is an election, they vote for Aristide, the guy who's investing in healthcare and education, as opposed to keeping the minimum wage low for the benefit of the 1% white warlords. Okay, so this is a two-pronged strategy. So they're using the militias for their own warfare, but at the same time, they're using the militias to terrorize the local population, and you have internal displacement. So you've had thousands of Haitians who have left those communities, such as Cité Soleil, Bel Air, Cafoufeuille. I grew up in Cafoufeuille, okay? Our own house it has been abandoned. The whole neighborhood has been abandoned. Okay, so and the outcome of that is that in the coming months, because you asked about what's coming up, you see the Americans and the Canadians, they're all pushing for elections
That's
now.
right. That's right.
The reason why they're doing that is because they know Cafoufeuille, Bel Air, Cité Soleil, these are the huge concentrations of black politicized Haitians. And if they organize an election while all of these people are still there and able to go out and vote, the outcome is predictable. That is, they're going to vote for another socialist, another progressive Haitian whose agenda is going to counter what the multinationals who want to exploit black labor without paying fair price wish. Okay, so that's the problem. So they want to have the election quick while the people are displaced and they cannot go out there and vote. And that's why the militias have been in this so-called insurrection. They even dare call it a revolution, as if, intelligent people don't know what a revolution is. This is not a revolution, okay? They've been doing this for several years now. Let us count how many of the political leaders that they are supposedly fighting have fallen. 0, okay? Because even Jovenel Moïse, who was murdered July 7th, 2021, clearly it's an international crime, okay, with involving mercenaries coming from Colombia, etc., etc. So they're not fighting the government. This whole last scenario that you saw last week, where conveniently they sent what's his name, Ariel Henry, the fake prime minister, to Kenya to go sign documents that he cannot sign because he doesn't have the legitimacy, because only a president, he's not president, he was prime minister. In Haiti,
right.
The prime minister is not a head of state. He cannot sign documents for that engages the nation. So why did he go to Kenya? And in fact, the actual document that was signed wasn't with his signature. It was his Minister of Environment who signed, because they knew it was a useless move. But in reality, this whole thing is a cinema, because now they're pretending that it's the militias that forced him out. Why didn't they force him out all of this time that, he had traveled before? It's because they want to create an environment where Haitians who are law-abiding citizens will have to sit down at the same table and negotiate and share power with the U.S. armed militias. Okay? Now, in what country do you consider it, normal that people who've just stormed 2 national penitentiaries, releasing 5,000 inmates? There were 4,000 in the Pénitencier National and 1,000 in the one in Croix-des-Bouquets. In total, around 5,000 inmates they released. Among the people who were released are some who are close to Michel Martelly, who were engaged in the assassination. They were in jail for complicity in the assassination of Jovenel Moïse. And you don't hear anybody claiming that, no, they need to rearrest these high-profile inmates. No, these people are just all in nature. And now, in what is being proposed is that there's going to be 7 people running the country as president, and among them, some of the parties that were involved in that breaking the jail have a seat. Okay, the so-called private sector, the white warlords, have a seat out of the 7 seats. So the majority of people who are going to be in that 7 thing are criminals of the PHTK regime that the United States, Canada, and the core group has installed in Haiti since after the coup in 2004. It had different names before. They used to call themselves GNB, but since 2010 and 11, Michel Martelly established the PHTK, and these are the people who are running the show. Now, I'll end with a comparison, right? I just gave the example that the folks who stormed the National Penitentiary, killing prison guards. Over a dozen people were killed. They are, they're forcing law-abiding Haitians to sit down and share power with them. If you listen to CNN, Christiana Mampu was doing the interview, and she, on purpose, said to Monique Kleska, "Your gangs are now saying that they're imposing themselves as a power." This is so insulting when she's called it your gangs. Monique Kleska did not create the gangs. In fact, the other lady that she was interviewing, the former U.S. ambassador to Haiti, Pamela White, is closer to being the owner of these militias. But in any case, the comparison is with January 6, 2021. Do you remember what happened in Washington?
Of course. Again, what happened on January 6th, 2021, that not only shocked the citizen in the U.S., but also shocked the entire world. Today, when we look at this U.S. political complication, and given the fact that U.S. politics today is standing at the crossroads, and this is still one of the most sensitive, or we'll say most heated debates in America today. Again, sir, go ahead.
Yes, but do you see Jacob Clancy in the White House? That's the man who had, they called him Viking Man.
That's right. Okay?
The guy who had the Viking hat in his head, and he was part of the group that stormed
the Capitol, and that's right.
Five people died, and etc. Okay, what happened after that? Did the United Nations Security Council, the Organization of American States, the president or the ambassador of Ethiopia, of China, did they meet, and Vladimir Putin, did they meet and say, okay, let's put the Democrats and the Republicans together, and you guys are going to have to share power? Is that what they did?
No, of course, because this is 100% a pure domestic political division. But again, Mr. Jeffrey, so I got your point.
Why is it we understand it when it involves the United States, or when it involves the yellow vest, okay, les gilets bleus, les gilets jaunes in France, okay, where some of the people who were demonstrating had their eyes plucked out, buildings burning, streets in fire in Paris, in Marseille, several cities of France, okay. You didn't see the world community meeting and decide that, well, Macron, it's time for you to go. Let's put someone else as president of France. No one did that, okay? Because there's a difference in how white nationhood is respected in the world and how black nationhood. That's what Haiti represents. It's black nationhood, and it's not true that there are no good leaders in Haiti. We have again and again chosen our good leader. Okay? But every time we plant a seed, they say, kill it before it grows. This is quoting Bob Marley. But in reality, we see that in Haiti. Every time we have a progressive leader, Dessalines, Salomon, Estimé, Aristide, they are attacked by a coalition of white supremacist leaders who either kidnap them, ransom them, threaten them, take them out. And so when we say Haiti is an international crime scene, we have documents to prove it. The historical record shows that. And so it's not rocket science to understand why Jacob Clancy is currently in jail. They just condemned him in the United States. He's not in the White House sharing power with Joe Biden. Okay, and of course you could find all kinds of arguments why Joe Biden is not fit to be ruling the United States. The man doesn't have memory, etc., etc. But no one in their right mind are going to suggest that Joe Biden shares power with a Viking man. Okay, so in Haiti, what we're asking is that we use our brains and behave intelligently. and understand that although the majority of the population of Haiti is impoverished, the brains that are in their individual heads is no different than the brain of Albert Einstein, than my brain, than your brain, or anybody else. Therefore, what's making the difference in terms of the lawlessness that you see in Haiti, okay, and the relative calm that other countries are enjoying is the external intervention in the affairs of Haiti. And that's why in Solidarité Québec Haïti, the group that I'm involved with and others, we are not asking for Canada's help. We are asking them to leave us alone, to get out of our business so that we in Haiti can sit down and have a conversation about how do we redistribute wealth, because there are internal domestic contradictions, injustices that have existed in our country that we need to address. But we don't need external pressure while we're doing that. And so what we need to negotiate is a ceasefire, not among the militias. We need a ceasefire between the Haitian black masses and the white rulers of the world. That's the ceasefire that we require, because 100% of the weapons that the militias are using are coming from Florida. All it would take with good faith would be for the United States government to stop the flow of weapons from Florida to Haiti. And we have provided a very practical answer to this. The two major warlords live in Miami who are involved in Haiti. One of them had political influence, that is Michel Martelly, whom Hillary Clinton had imposed on us as president because she entered Haiti and rigged the elections. And it's the Director General of the Electoral Council who admitted that all back in 2015, Pierre-Louis Aupon. And this guy, there's a UN report which came out last November 2023. And you can see it in the media. It was reported in Miami Herald and in all kinds of newspapers that the UN has confirmed that most of the militias operating in Haiti are linked and they were created by Michel Martelly. Now, how come Michel Martelly is in Miami and they refuse to arrest him? Okay, so, and the other person is Gilbert Bijot, the one billionaire. There's only one billionaire family in Haiti. It's the Bijot. And Gilbert Bijot lives in Miami. Okay? And Canada has Gilbert Bijot on the list of people that it has sanctioned because they have proof that he was involved in creating, arming the militias. So that means it's not a lack of information. They have the information. If Canada is taking those steps, and this guy is a billionaire, therefore he could sue the government of Canada if it wasn't true. Okay? But the question is, you cannot stop at just putting their names on a list. The man is in Miami. You say that he's the one, and he's a billionaire. That means he has amounts of money that is incredible in a country where most of the people are impoverished. So if you dissolve 2, 3, 4, 5, or even all of the militias, and then you leave this guy with all his wealth and all his power, he's just going to recreate them whenever he needs again. That's why we're saying to solve, the crisis permanently, the U.S. need to stop supporting the white warlords in Haiti. In particular, these two men, Michel Martelly and Gilbert Bijot, who are in Miami, they are low-hanging fruits because they're on U.S. territory. You don't need to invade Haiti to arrest these two fools.
That's right.
Okay? And if you do that, the militias will lose access to their weapons and their ammunition. They will not last 2 weeks. Okay? Because we've seen it already in Haiti. When the population started to organize to attack the militias, in fact, it was the government that intervened to stop the population from getting rid of the militias. And that's why I'm telling you, what we were observing last week was a scenario. It was there was no real fighting. The man Jimmy Cherizier, okay, that they're presenting as the big revolutionary or the big gang leader or whatever who made it impossible for Ariel Henry to come back. You know how long there has been an arrest warrant on this guy's name? January 31st, 2020.
Wow.
That's more than 4 years. Okay? People who are listening to this who may not know Haiti, it might be difficult for them to comprehend what this means. Okay, where this guy's base is in Delma, Badelma, is at steps from the National Palace, where the government, the seat of government is, where all of the police is, okay? And they've been there for 4 years, and this guy is right there, and they cannot catch him. Meanwhile, he's doing interviews with international media. He's doing Facebook Lives, YouTube Lives, where you can actually see which building is behind him. Okay? The U.S. Embassy has drones. The Canadian Embassy has drones, and they're all supposed to be helping the Haitian government. They're sending all kinds of, they're mobilizing millions of dollars to go find 1,000 police officers in Kenya. But the one threat that they have right in front of them, barbecue, they haven't arrested for 4 years. That's because they don't want to arrest him. Okay? It's like the roadrunner in Bugs Bunny. Okay? You keep on running after the bird, but you're not supposed to catch the bird, because if you catch the bird, the movie is over. And so that's what they're doing. Okay? But it's not funny because human lives are at stake.
That's right.
Sometimes we get the impression that these men are sitting down and these men and women are sitting down and they think it's a video game. It's not a video game. It's my family members who are dying.
That's right. Well, and again, Mr. Jeffrey, I agree with you 100%. Of course, I mean, today, that's why it's such an honor and a privilege to have a distinguished speaker like you to join our show to share with us. Again, it's not just about what we read according to the media reports and what we saw according to the media exposure. Is the truth, is the fundamental hard truth that majority of the media or the mainstream media that don't understand and don't or even refuse to tell. Now, I want to ask you the last question before letting you go, Mr. Jeffrey. Again, based on the report that according to the United Nations, approximately 1 million people are on the brink of famine, 350,000 of whom have been displaced. Now, again, Mr. Jeffrey, look at the number, it's devastating. And look at the number, it's heartbroken. I mean, it's hard to understand that. So from your perspective, again, let's go back to the question. How do you think that the international communities can help and can understand the situation today in Haiti? Again, it's 100% domestic issue. It's 100% that can be solved internally. But when we look at this famine, when we look at the people who are actually suffering in Haiti, what are your final thoughts regarding the ultimate solution or the most tangible or the practical solution that we can bring to the table at this moment?
I think the answer is in your question. It's in currently it is not a 100% domestic issue because of the international involvement and interference. If we transform it into a domestic issue, that is to have the ambassadors of Canada, the United States, to actually become real ambassadors, to do not involve themselves in the business of the country and let it be a domestic issue, then we will be able to solve the problem. With regards to the famine issue, for instance, you mentioned the numbers of NGOs that are supposedly in Haiti to help fight hunger, poverty, and all of this stuff. They have been there for how many decades? Okay, so if you are a CEO of a company and you've been the CEO for 50 years, and for all of these 50 years, you've never made a profit, you're always losing money, what is supposed to be the rational decision? They're supposed to fire you.
That's right.
Okay? So these NGOs have not been fighting poverty or hunger in Haiti. The reason that you still have all these millions of people alive in Haiti is because they have family members who are working as professionals, taxi drivers, doing sometimes 2, 3 jobs in New York, in Montreal, in Paris, all around the world, in Chile, in Brazil. They're sending money to their family members. That's what keeps them alive. And you know what is sad about it is that most of the money that we send to our family back in Haiti is actually spent to enrich the 15 white mafia families, the warlords, because they are the ones who have the monopoly on importing food, petroleum, everything. And so Haiti is a kidnapped population, and we need to free that population. And those 15 white mafia families, they can find other places to live. Okay? Instead of displacing the black population, they need to focus on displacing those 15 white mafia families because their activities is criminal. Now, having said that, does that mean that everybody in those families is a criminal? Of course not. And there are people who grew up within those families who revolted against what's happening and say, this is barbaric, it's not sustainable. This is very much like when you had slavery on the colony. Okay? Now, what we're saying is people should be judged on the basis of their actions. When we call for the arrest of Gilbert Bidjo, we're not calling for his arrest because he's white. Okay? But because he's white is not supposed to provide him immunity either.
That's right.
Okay? So in other words, you're going to arrest all criminals regardless of their skin tone. And you're going to honor, law-abiding citizens on the basis of the fact that that's who they are. You see, the Haitian Revolution was launched on a very simple, it sounds simple, but it's very deep, a premise. Tout moun c'est moun, which literally translates into all humans are human. That's all it says. Okay? In other words, do not apply a different approach when you're dealing with black people than when you're dealing with Asian people, than when you're dealing with European people or First Nations people.
That's right.
Because all people are people. We have the same type of brains. What makes the difference is opportunity. Okay? If you took a whole bunch of Europeans and you put them in that situation that you've put Haitians for hundreds of years, they wouldn't look any more intelligent. Okay? These people were deprived of everything that they have. Even the breast milk of the African woman was stolen by the slave driver. Okay? And if you put it at the collective level, when France ransomed Haiti with 15 warships that they sent in 1825 and collected the equivalent of $115 billion in today's money, from 1825 to 1947, that's the equivalent of a baby's breast milk. Because the country was just created. The Industrial Revolution was happening all around the world. People were building their cities, electricity, all of these things were happening. And Haiti was sending all of its resources to France, just in order for that black population to remain alive. This is barbaric. And that's what President Aristide put on the table in 2003. He said that France needs to return that money because it was, vol à main armée, you say in French. It's armed robbery, okay? And it's documented because it was the state of France which collected that money. And they went from the monarchy of Napoleon to the republic, and then back to monarchy, and then back to republic again. They all collected the money. So it's the state of France. It's not a government of France. It's the state of France. And therefore, the French people who are alive today, who are of good conscience, okay, they should seriously think about how they can regain their dignity by returning what their government has stolen from the impoverished black people of Haiti. We say that hypocrites in the United States and much of the world, especially after the assassination of George Floyd, took a habit of spewing in their mouths the words "Black Lives Matter." We are not impressed by that statement, okay? Because we always knew that our lives matter. We don't need anyone to come and tell us that our lives matter. But today, we find the necessity to say that Black nationhood matters.
That's right.
So when intelligent people are analyzing the crisis in Palestine, they invite Palestinians to speak. They invite Israelis, because Israelis are on Palestinian land, to speak. When they are doing some of these same analysis of what's happening in the Congo, in Haiti, most of the times, they invite some white NGO worker who is in conflict of interest. Because the crimes that are happening in those countries involve white nations.
That's right.
It makes no sense. And I will not accept the idea that, oh, well, it's because they didn't realize it's problematic. No. These are intelligent people who send astronauts to the moon and back. So I don't think it's because they are not intelligent. Okay? They are evil in their behavior because we have allowed little men and women to take control of our world, put all of our lives in danger. Where countries that have nuclear weapons are now fighting each other, putting all of our lives in danger because of the silence of people in the world who have the ability to do the analysis and who should raise their voice to save humanity. What's happening in Haiti is not the thing that concerns a small country. Haiti is a microcosm of our world. Okay? All of what's wrong with our world, we see it in Haiti as well. The 99% of the majority that is in poverty, and the 1%, okay, that is, living lavishly with zero conscience. Okay? How can you tell me that high-speed internet is a priority as opposed to clean water?
That makes sense, Mr. Jeffrey. Of course.
I'd like to have, I enjoy high-speed internet.
Right.
Okay.
But I believe, again, for some parts of the world, that social equality, gender equality, and also the equal rights to vote, to look at this political and economic stability is the priority. I mean, again, I have no objection to having this luxury of internet speed or have this high speed technological advancement. But again, what you share with us, it's so enlightening. And of course, that's the reason why I said it many times, is to have someone like you to join our show to help us with in-depth and well-meaning understanding of the truth regarding not just Haiti, but the whole world. Again, Mr. Jeffrey, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for your insights. And we'd love to have you back on the show to continue our discussion and help us to dissect the issue that it's hidden around the world. But meanwhile, it's time that we need to dig the truth out, let people to understand the facts, and the most importantly, to wake up the people that who are still, again, what we say, dreaming, or even just to pretend they understand what's happening. So thank you so much for doing this.